Hey folks, help me make a decision. I've got here my iPhone 7 Plus that I've had since probably December of last year, but then I went out and picked up the Galaxy S8 Plus. And so this is going to be a painfully honest exploration of whether or not I should keep this or if I should go back to this. I'm going to go through pros and cons and what I need out of a phone, and maybe you can help me figure it out. I keep putting myself in like ridiculous amounts of debt in order to get these phones. The latest problem that I had was that my iPhone, right here, I was out working, I was listening to some stuff while I was working, and I sat down on the sidewalk to try and, do something outdoorsy, and the thing slipped out of my pocket, case on, and the screen just shattered. And that ticked me off, and I was like, rah, 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 rah. But I took it to the Apple store, had to travel for 2 hours. My wife actually travels there for work, so she took it up there, got the screen replaced. In the meantime, the Galaxy S8 was released, and so I went to the Verizon store to look at I was looking at the LG V10, and wanted to get that because of the audio features that it has on it. If you are new to the channel, if you don't know much about me, one of my big things for my entire life has been I've been a musician and studio recording person, both as an artist and as somebody who's recorded other people for like 30 years now. And so audio is a big part of my phone experience. The quad DAC on the V20 sounded like a great deal. I did pick one up. Unfortunately, the V20 couldn't get me past 3 p.m. on a battery charge. Taking it off the charger at the same time that I would anything else. And yes, I know it has swappable batteries and all this other stuff, but it didn't feel fully baked in the way that an iPhone or even a Galaxy phone can. So I took it back, and the S8, which I'd played with a little bit in displays, was there. And I decided to go ahead and get one. I went for the S8 Plus. It's just an absolutely beautiful phone. And that's part of my big crisis, is I've got this iPhone. I now have an extra $150 into a 256 gigabyte iPhone 7 Plus. And then I picked this thing up that's also $850. Now, I can sell this guy to get basically the money that I put into it back, and I have some. The big issue is, am I being stupid? That's the question. Put together a list of pros and cons. Android, and specifically Galaxy S8 versus iPhone and iOS. The S8 Plus has a lot going for it. I don't want to do the typical, iPhone versus Android or Samsung kind of video. I want to talk about what it is that's important to me as a user, and hopefully that will help me, and then you help me figure out whether or not I should keep the S8 Plus or if I should go with the iPhone. And again, like I say, this isn't like a fanboy thing. My phone becomes integral to my life. Here's a list of things. I made up a list of pros that I really like for the S8 Plus. And then I made a list of cons, and I'm going to go through them and I'm going to explain to you why. My first pro on the S8 Plus, and maybe it sounds a little silly, but it is a pro for me, is the always-on display. The always-on display matters a lot to me because one thing that I do at work is I have my phone sitting next to me. Things that I want to know for my phone as it's sitting next to me: what time is it? What is the temperature outside? Do I have any notifications that I care about? See, that's what you have to do with the iPhone to get it to show you stuff, is lift it up like this. I don't want to have to lift up my phone. I don't want to touch my phone unless I have to. So the always-on display is a big deal for me. Number two, and this is something that's really specific to the S8 Plus. This may be a feature that came with Android Nougat. I'm not exactly sure. But the Trusted Places and Trusted Devices feature, if you don't know what that is, and if you do know whether or not it's Samsung specific or if it's just Android Nougat, let me know. But this Trusted Places / Trusted Devices is is a thing that uses GPS or a particular Bluetooth connected device, and after a while, when you're in a certain place for a certain time, they'll say, hey, you're at this place a lot, it's your house or whatever, do you want to always have your phone unlocked while you're there? For me, yes. Because how many times do you have to like fingerprint scanner, or I can't use the iris scanner because it's not reliable with my glasses. The face scanner didn't seem to be working. I mean, you know, maybe it just can't stand these good looks. It's hard to say. The trusted places thing is a big deal for me. And the trusted devices, when I'm driving and I have Bluetooth hooked up in the car, it's so nice to not have to fiddle with unlocking the phone just to work with your audio stuff. Again, audio a big deal to me. iPhone doesn't offer anything like that. Flexibility when it comes to Android and the S8 Plus in general. Now, Android offers a lot of flexibility in how you set a phone up. All the widgets of all the stuff that I want to look at, all the stuff that I want to listen to, all right here. Google Play Music, Audible, Stitcher, Sonos, and then I've got a few folders right here. But what I decided to try was really putting all of this stuff in folders on this edge screen. So here's my shopping folder. But if I can do that and keep everything on the edge screen that I need to get to, and then these things which I need at just a moment's notice, then that's going to be a huge deal for me in terms of flexibility and just being able to access the stuff that I want to access. If you go on the iPhone, I mean, this is one thing that I really don't like about the iPhone interface, is that you don't have anything interactive here. You don't have the time widget. You don't have a search bar. You can get this search. Siri's like, oh, I found it on the internet. Do you want to go to the internet? Yeah, I want to go to the internet. Siri, yes. That's why I'm searching. Anyway, Apple's implementation of search not being immediately connected to the internet is a pain in the rear, especially when you try and talk to Siri, which I never do. I never talk to Siri because Siri never does anything for me. Siri and I are on the outs. I have everything in folders here, but I don't know, it just never seemed easy to me. So now let's go through a few cons. The first con that I have is this facial recognition, fingerprint, iris scanner, blah blah blah. Technology is cool. I get it. Technology is cool, and you want to have technology do things for you. The iris scanner doesn't work for me. The facial recognition doesn't seem to work for me. The fingerprint scanner, like, people are complaining about this, but I find that I can get to it. It's easier to get to when you have a case. I've got this Tech 21 case that I've been using. I chose very specifically because of its rubber grippiness. A lot of TPU or silicone cases are really still kind of slick, and I don't like that. That's one reason I don't like OtterBox cases. This guy is very grippy. It's lost a little bit because it's got my hand grease all over it. I also have the Verizon tempered glass screen protector, the Verizon tempered glass screen protector. And let me tell you, you know, in the store they're trying to sell you this stuff, and you've just bought this $850 piece of glass, basically, and you're scared shitless, and you can put it on your bill, so they're just like, okay, yeah, sure, put it on. So the guy, $45 this thing cost, and the guy put it on, and I went out to my car, I sat down, I started messing with the phone, and the thing popped off. I got it back on. The all-glass construction, as I just said, is a big deal for me. I mean, it scares the pants off me. I got so, like, I almost puked when I broke the screen on this guy. And this guy, I remember when I had the Note 7, I was afraid to, like, every time I took it out of my pocket, I was like, I got a case, I got a screen protector. I feel like the guy who wears safety goggles to bed with all that stuff on my phone. But another problem that I have is battery life. This phone, I've heard people complain about the battery on the Plus line of phones. This phone lasts me all day and then some every day. I've never had it let me down. The Plus line of phones from Apple has always done me right in terms of battery. I don't know what other people are doing. Like I said with the V20, I've been worried about the battery on this guy as well. I don't want to go into all the tech specs of 3,500 milliamp hour, yada yada yada. I mean, there are thousands of videos that you can watch with all that stuff on it. My big concern is, does it get me through a day? Do I have to worry about it? Do I have to have that battery anxiety? I mean, I just get worried. I got a kid. I got to know where she is. I got to know how to get in touch with her. My wife, it travels all the time. Worrying about your battery is terrible. Right now, I've had this off the charger since 6:30 this morning. It's got 35% battery, and I'm using the high performance setting. So it's doing all the things that it can do. And 35%, it is 9:44 p.m. here in Iowa. So it's gonna be fine. It's gonna get me through the rest of today and then some, and it's not gonna be a problem. And this is like day 4 or 5 that I've had the phone, so I'm still in love with it. At the end of the day, one of the things that's really difficult for me in terms of Android versus iOS is that iOS has a long history of supporting creative people, and they built a lot of that support into their mobile devices. You've got, you know, iMovie if you want to do something easy, but for me, really, it's all about audio. There's an app on iOS called Music Memos that's sort of like a notes app and sort of like a voice recorder, but what it does is if you're a songwriter and you just want to capture a really quick idea, and you're just writing and going, as the Music Memos app on here will actually record the audio that you're playing, and then it will transpose the music that you're playing into chord form. So as a guitar player who writes on guitar, getting the chords and having them in that app so that I can refer back to it is a huge deal, because I typically write very quickly and I record something that will capture it, and then I come back to it much later. And that just really, Android doesn't come from that creator-centric mindset. They've got great cameras, and the camera on this is great. I haven't put it through its full paces, but usually I don't. I'm not a photographer. I do these videos, and that's probably as extensive as it gets. So, but there's nothing in here that's like supported and high quality that will allow me to do the same things that I can do with this. I do have this 12.9 iPad Pro, so if I need that iOS stuff, I've got that. At the end of the day, the question is, will this thing be as steady and steadfast and keep doing the things that I need it to do, keep me organized, keep me making it through each day on time, get my thoughts captured, get my music captured, all that kind of stuff, as well as this guy? Now, I get frustrated with the simplicity of iOS. I get frustrated with the way that iOS makes you do things the way that you want them to do, but it eliminates a lot of the thought that you have to go through in order to do that. This guy gives you a lot more options, but you have to put a lot more thought into it. Help me out here. Which do you think I should keep? Do you think I should keep iPhone 7 Plus? Do you think I should keep Samsung Galaxy 8 Plus? And why? Tell me down in the comments. This has been a painfully honest exploration of what phone I should keep and why. Thanks for being here. I'm the JTL. Until the next time.